Why, good morning, good evening, or good night, my royal subjects. I have returned. There should be a fanfare. I seem to have left the trumpeters at my castle. Well, hello everybody. It's been a hot second, hasn't it? I know you've all missed me. Right? Y'all miss me, right? Oh, whatever. So, I am here with you with a movie review on the recent Black Widow movie. And yes, I'm aware I don't usually show my face in videos, but today was a special occasion, so I thought I'd show y'all a video. Now, before I do, I guess I should give y'all the rundown. Why I didn't make any videos on all summer and why my Twitter was kind of quiet. So, I, quite frankly, got a job over the summer. Not a big one, a small little part-time job. And it allowed me to get the money to buy a new laptop, which I'm using. And wow, it is glorious. It plays World of Warships and Team Fortress 2 like a machine. I gotta mess with y'all a little bit. And it has allowed me to have better video editing and audio editing software. This is probably one of the very few times y'all will ever see my physical appearance in a video. But I thought I'd let y'all. It's a special occasion after all. So, with that being said, I'd like to quickly explain to y'all how I will be rating this movie. I'm going to be working on none other than a crown system. I have 5 crowns. 1 for the plot, 1 for the characters, 1 for the special effects, a 4th for the story, and the last one y'all might not expect, I have a 5th one for the villain. And that is for my own personal reasons, but in my book, a villain always makes the movie, and so therefore they should be rated just like the main characters. So, with that being said, if you have any questions on my movie reviewing skills, please comment below. Also, this opinion is mine and mine alone. And the only person who may judge my opinion is Guatemales, the banana. Isn't that right, Guatemales? Only Guatemales may judge my movie reviewing skills. Oh my gosh, calm down. Are you excited for the Black Widow movie review? Someone's excited to watch this. So, I hope you are all ready to strap in, watch a thrilling and somewhat comedic movie review, maybe laugh, learn a thing or two, and without further ado, let's go!
Okay, so what is Black Widow exactly about? Well, it is about, well, it's quite literally in the title, Black Widow, the Marvel Avenger, or Marvel character. Oh my gosh. It's about the Avenger, Black Widow, and it takes place where her and some other somewhat very interesting characters team up to help take down the Red Room, which is a covert spy group that operated during the Cold War and seems to have never stopped operating. Now, alongside her is her sister Yelena, as well as her father. Large air quotes when I say sister and father, Alina and Alexei, in which Alexei is the Red Guardian, who is supposed to be, no hint I say supposed to be, a fabulous Marvel bootleg of Captain America. And in quite a second here, I'll explain why. So, first crown of the review, let's talk about the plot. Now, warning, there will be some spoilers ahead. So, if you do not wish for it to be spoiled, I'd suggest clicking off the movie now, or the episode now, and maybe rewatching some of my old Royal Decree episodes. Just a suggestion. Okay, let's get into it. Also, another thing, I will not be using many images, because frankly, I do not want to get gotten by Marvel or Disney. I am very terrified. So, Images are being kept to a minimum unless they are being critically used in review, which they're not really. So, the plot. What exactly is the plot? Well, ex-masterful assassin of the Red Room, Black Widow, is on the run when she anonymously receives a vial of serums from her secret sister, and by sister I mean fake child that was brainwashed and pretended to be the sister after 3 years, pardon me, sent her vials. And this is when she learns that she never took down the Red Room, which was led by a man named General Dreykov, who is in charge of this Red Room and created the Black Widow Project. Now, overall, that's a pretty decent plot. And it's actually not too bad. Through this, they go to a high security gulag in Soviet Russia, in which they break out Alexei, known as the Red Guardian, who was a fabricated super soldier during the Cold War, made to be the Russian version of Captain America. And may I say, this actor does so good at what he does. Now, frankly, I'm not going to judge the characters yet, because, well, we're not there yet. I'm here to talk about the plot. And through this, and meeting their fake mother, too, which I don't remember the name of at the top of my head, they go to take down the Red Room. Now, of course, there's a bunch of stuff in between, lots of good jokes and references, like how the god from space doesn't need an Advil, and a lot of things appear. We learn that Nat did some very nasty things in order to kill Dreykov, like blow up his daughter. Dear Lord, that was pretty bad, though. Like, seriously, you just blew up a man's daughter? Whew, bad stuff. And that was basically the Budapest incident, which that was the only disappointing thing for me in terms of the plot. That, in every Marvel movie, it's, oh man, it seems a lot like Budapest. Oh man, me and you remember Budapest differently. Oh man, this is just like Budapest. And all Budapest was Nat and Clint blowing up a building and running from the police. Like, not even an intense firefight of some kind. But later they learn this serum stops the mind control that Dreykov has on the widows and basically frees them, which leads to the next point. Why in God's name now let me remind you, this all took place before Infinity War, and there was like 30 or so highly trained widows, aka assassins. So why were none of them at Infinity War? Like seriously. No one's anyone gonna answer this question for me. Like, this is my really only big problem I have with the plot. At the end, of course, Natasha frees all of the widows, defeats Dreykov, and defeats the Taskmaster, who is a masterful assassin which can copy their opponent's movements and uses that to figure out how to counter and defeat them. Throughout the movie, you can see Taskmaster use moves such as Black Widow's, some of Black Widow's moves, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Panther, other fighting techniques, and it's really good. But we'll discuss Taskmaster later. Now, again, back to the plot. Why is this highly trained group of assassins not helping in Infinity War? Like, one Black Widow, our Black Widow, just sweet, killed like 30 Chitauri on her own. Why didn't we have 20 more of them? Or the Red Guardian, who is another super soldier. Like, we had 2 super soldiers. Imagine if we had a third. Whew. That'd be dangerous. But it'd be fun. Which just leads to so many questions of just continuity error. And of course, the real reason isn't because, they're there. It's because they don't want to spoil what was in the Black Widow movie. In my opinion, it was released really late. And it was far too late. It was kind of what The Last of Us Part 2 did. Once you killed off all these characters, it goes back and makes you try to feel sorry for them. So, they killed off Black Widow, and they're like, oh no, everyone be sad. She had a family, she had a father, and she had a mother, and she had a sister, and nobody cares. Genuinely. I think the characters themselves, Yelena and Alexei and the mom, I think they were all genuinely good characters. Dreykov was good. I will say Red Guardian was a little stereotypical Russian for me. I feel they could have really gone out of the box for that actor, but I'm not too angry. I think it was overall a very good movie. I think the plot was very good. One or two things kind of made me go, it's a little sketchy, I guess, now, but I'll let it slide. And so I did, but not much. With all of that being said, it is with the wonderful power bestowed in me as the Lord Win, I shall give Black Widow one crown for a plot. So we couldn't afford fanfares. So please accept this totally legit and theme fitting music for an amazing animation I made. So, on another note, let's continue. So, the characters. They were all pretty good. We're not going to include Black Widow or the villains in this conclusion of the characters. Because, one, Black Widow's character is pretty solid. I mean, she does have a pretty good actress backing her. But please notice me, Scarlett Johansson. Okay, to continue. Yelena, the sister of Black Widow, I liked her. I think her character was fabulous. She was witty. She was still a cool assassin-like character. And she wasn't boring to listen to. She wasn't something I was like going to die listening to. And overall, she had some of my favorite one-liners in the entire movie, like, oh, this will be a good way to die, and I don't think the girl from space needs an Advil. And it was overall really good. And I would be excited to see, if you saw the aftercut, I'm excited to see her more and different and in new projects. Now, her mom, Melina, I liked Melina's character. I didn't expect her to be all assassin like, more of a pencil pusher. Oh boy, was I proved wrong. And her character introduced the fact that a lot of them are being mind controlled or have some form of it. And it was really, really neat watching that character. And the beginning sequence where they're all running from like the cops and all of that, and she's still got a bullet in her arm and flying an airplane. Whew! Sweet Jesus, I love that scene. I love that intro scene of the movie. And it was pretty good. The friend who helped Black Widow through the whole time, the British guy, I don't remember his name. God, he was funny. I loved him. Oh my gosh. If I could get him and what's his face from Ant-Man, the guy who over narrates everything in a movie together, I'd pay money for that. Not even joking. I would pay money for that. But the last character I want to talk about is Alexei. Mainly because I have the most criticism for Alexei. Now, Alexei's character, the Red Guardian, I really liked. But I have a few problems. The first one being the end sequence. Now, he is a super soldier. We get confirmation of this due to the fact that he flipped multiple cars with a single hand, and he shows signs of great strength throughout the movie. But not much. He shows it once when he's escaping the gulag. He shows it firstly in the beginning intro part where he's escaping from S.H.I.E.L.D., and he doesn't really show it elsewhere, which is where I begin the part when Taskmaster was fighting Alexei. Alexei lost. The man who should be very much a super soldier got destroyed. And I have a lot of problems with Alexei's character. I loved it overall. The sense of humor, the personality. I loved it. But other than that, I didn't quite like it. I feel Alexei was very weak in some places. I felt his character was lacking in a lot of spots that other characters kind of excelled in. Like in any of the fight sequences, Alexei was just getting his butt kicked. And he's the super soldier. The super soldier. Like, I know it was sort of a bootleg serum, but still, it should have done something to make him better. Sadly, it did not, and I have the big cries. And I am very much excited to see Alexei in more Marvel projects because I loved it. Dude, he was so funny. I like Alexei's character a lot. And due to the fact that I feel Alexei was lacking, I am only going to be able to give the characters, I'm going to go 2/3 of a star. No, I'm joking with y'all. I'll give a second crown. I said star earlier. Okay. I will give a second crown to Black Widow for characters.
Now, this part might seem a little interesting. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about special effects and other things. Now, I did say 5 at the beginning, but I miscounted. Apparently, I did not pass the first grade, so it's really only 4 crowns. So, whoopsie. So, I'm still going to be judging the villains, but instead, I'm going to be talking about special effects. How about this? If I do need a 5th crown, so how about y'all comment in the section below what you think I could do for a 5th crown? But let's continue. So, special effects. I really have very small complaints. So, the only complaint I have is, now this is a somewhat big spoiler, when they are chasing Dreykov after they've blown up the Red Room, and they go, and he's on a plane, Yelena jumps on the plane, and when the explosion that happens when she blows up the jet engine reminds me of, like, Spy Kids 2 explosion graphics. Like, I had to rewatch this scene at first because I saw someone on Facebook point it out. I know I'm old. I use Facebook. You see, my royal social media coordinator has yet to help me how to use the Instablams or any other forms of the Snap Twitters. I've just offended so many people, but to continue. And it was just really poor level graphics and CGI. Normally I wouldn't complain about this, but the movie has supposedly, I believe, been produced for the past 2 years. They were just waiting to release it, and they had some final touches. So, in my book, there's absolutely zero excuse it should be like this, and it's just abhorrent how bad it seemed. But other things that I'd like to talk about. I think overall it did really good trying to enforce the theme that they were all under mind control. The twist with Molina was pretty big, and I really liked that. For those of you not knowing, Molina switched to the good guy side at the last second. And there were a lot of good meme formats that we got out of this. With the whole poser and you think it will take 1 dart and then 30 more light up Alexei. Although, I would like to say, when I discuss the villains, I will say upcoming, y'all might, this is where I'm going to get a little judgmental in opinions, but continuing with the effects. Overall, I think the effects were good. Granted, they were more or less not going with the average action theme of most Marvel movies. It's more of a spy thriller, not even a comedy. So, I'm thinking of this as a James Bond movie, or a Mission Impossible. So you can't really judge other graphics, but you can look at the lasers and the bullets and the explosions, and overall, those were all pretty good. My only complaint again was the one at Dreykov, and the final scene, the final scene when Black Widow and Taskmaster are falling out of the sky, and it's like an air battle. I don't know. That scene just, I look back at it and I don't like it. Not in the slightest. I do not like it. It seems, it doesn't seem like it should fit. I get that the Red Room is in the sky, and that brings me to another point. The Red Room was concealed in the clouds by cloaking technology. First off, how? When we see the Red Room, it's barely concealed. There's maybe like a cloud here around it or a cloud there. And Wakanda has satellites that apparently never saw it. The United States, China, Japan, Britain, like any other large dominant world power did not see this. And I'd like to say that is a falsehood. I highly doubt that the most advanced nation in this world, Wakanda, did not see through their fancy satellites that detected something entering the orbit. Or that's not even that big of a deal, I guess. Our satellites can do that. But that couldn't, just, I don't know. It just makes no sense to me how it wasn't spotted. But because of that, I'm going to have to say I'm not going to give Black Widow a star for special effects. Sorry, Black Widow. Guess this time you got squashed? Now, to end this video off, who else to talk about but the villains? Oh, do I have a lot to talk about the villains? So first off, the main antagonist was Dreykov. Now, Dreykov I had nothing against, but Taskmaster. Oh, do I have something against you? So, as I talked earlier in the episode, Black Widow got Dreykov's daughter involved in the bombing. Now, you'll see how this is related in a minute. In the comic books, there was a man known as Tony Masters. Now, Tony Masters, see where the name Taskmaster comes from, was a SHIELD agent who was given a serum that allowed him to have enhanced memory capabilities. He was also a veteran. Now, this enhanced memory capabilities also greatly damaged his own memory. And in fact, he started losing much of his own memory and forgetting a lot of things, such as his family, to where the point his wife started hiring him to do hits and jobs of the sort in order to just keep an eye on him. And in any form of media and some of the more smaller Marvel shows and movies that are animated, there are Taskmaster, where he is exactly that. He is a witty combatant and a mercenary who works for whoever has the deepest pockets, usually Hydra or AIM or Hammer Industries, the Russians. He genuinely didn't care who. He had memorized Black Widow's martial arts style, Hawkeye's archery, and Captain America's shield-to-hand combat, and he's even countered all of them. None of that happened in the movie. Let's start with the fact that Taskmaster was a girl. That I don't particularly care about. It was Dreykov's daughter who was revealed to be the Taskmaster, which I somewhat had a concern about, but they've changed gender and things like this before. They did it with Director Fury and turning him into Samuel Jackson, and they did it with the Master, or the Ancient One, who was originally a dude. And particularly, I don't care. I am a little upset because, Taskmaster was a character near and dear to my heart, And the real big part that got me angry is the chip in her neck. Now, as I said just now, Taskmaster had enhanced memory, which meant that if he were to see something, he could basically remember it. It was photographic memory. And that isn't how it worked. Dracov's daughter, Tanya, had a chip in her neck that allowed her to remember what she was seeing. Also, she was more of a silent antagonist, like Ghost was. And frankly, it was poor decision and my idea on Marvel's behalf, because I think it was a very obvious plot twist. I feel that they really made it obvious with all of the very much large pronunciations of the fact that it was a he, like, oh, he's unstoppable. Oh, he's never been defeated. Oh, he's going to catch us. And they tried to make it seem really obvious. Although there is a little bit of light for those of you who are also probably diehard Taskmaster fans. I do not believe this is the true Taskmaster. Nope, not in the slightest. See, in the movie, they call it the Taskmaster Protocol. Now, at first, a lot of people think, oh, that's just the dude's name. They're just activating him. No. In my mind, I think there is a real Tony Masters out there that the Russians saw and thought, maybe we could do that. Because they've been known to copy supers before. Red Guardian is a Russian copy of Captain America. Crimson Dynamo is bootleg Iron Man. No, not Iron Man. Iron Man. And it was really good, in my opinion. And I think this is just a Russian bootleg of Taskmaster. At least in my book, I believe so. And I think it was overall a really poor decision on Marvel's behalf, if I'm being anything but honest. I think that with all the comic book accuracy recently, it's really upsetting that they decided to not go comic book accurate in this movie. For that, at least. I mean, of course they can't, because technically Red Guardian's supposed to be Black Widow's husband. And that'd be really weird. Oh, God, that'd be weird. Now that the awkward silence has settled in, I am going to have to deny a crown a second time. And as my first movie review, I shouldn't be... Sorry for that. I shouldn't be so harsh. But I'm being pretty honest here. I didn't like the change. And from what I've seen, it's a pretty heated debate on social media whether or not the change was a good move. In my book, it wasn't. In fact, I'm really hoping that in the future, we are going to see the real Taskmaster come in and kick her butt. But maybe the actress does some really good things with the character. We really just have to see. Frankly, I mean, Marvel messed up with the Mandarin and Deadpool at first and some other movies. So truly, we just gotta give it some time. Hopefully not 10 years. But, with that being said, I'm going to have to deny the fourth and final crown to the villains of Black Widow. Well, with that being said, I'd like to say thank you all for stopping by. Hopefully, there will be more videos coming out soon. Although school just started and my schedule's looking pretty rough. So maybe expect a video every month or so, maybe. Don't expect me to be posting every other week like I used to. But I hope you all enjoyed. Why don't you all leave a like and subscribe, comment down below, and tell me what you liked about this video. Do you think I was a little too harsh? Maybe not. If you have any ideas for what I could do for a fifth crown, well, leave it in the comments, and I'll probably mention it. With that being said, thank you all for stopping by and having a listen. Your Lord lets you leave. Well, that one was cringe.